Hello EFD squad and welcome back to Continental Club, where we discuss the hottest topics in European football as selected by you. One thing I've just learned that I didn't know prior to being on set is that a merkin is a pubic wig.
Yes.
And that was
something new
courtesy of Van Straten. Joe actually knew it. Strong pubic wig knowledge from you. Have you ever used one?
Have I ever done
Were you a
the
late
merkin?
bloomer?
Done the merkin.
I was a late bloomer, but I've not donned a merkin.
All right.
You've never donned a merkin, pal. You are packed full of
Bit of a
testosterone.
merked a merkin?
I've got too much hair, too much body hair.
Yeah? Like McCubbin, who's got hairy shoulders. Werewolf, that boy. Anyway, first question comes from @AxLangelon. And they have asked, how do you think Chelsea will be under Sarri, and what transfer business do they need to conduct, I imagine, to suit his playing style in order to challenge in 18-19? Yeah, rather long. Okay, so the main issue here at the moment is I think Chelsea have avoided announcing Sarri, though things being agreed behind the scenes. Maybe this is some sort of gentleman's agreement gone on, because he hasn't been officially sacked by Napoli yet, despite them announcing Ancelotti. Yes, it's very confusing, Joseph. The 59-year-old is apparently still under contract, but his £7 million release clause has expired. Okay. But according to Italian TV network Mediaset Premium, only the best news, the Partnoppi are ready to release him for a cool $5 million. Now, there's a few contradictory elements in there, but apparently it's readily understood that Conte will be fired as soon as those things are ironed out, and him and his staff will receive a cool $9.7 million in a payout.
Antonio will.
But Antonio Conte has planned a full pre-season, hasn't he, Joe? He's looks like he's gearing up to kind of stay. His options in terms of going elsewhere are getting shorter and shorter. What do you think of the question in hand? Do you think Sarri's going to be the right man for Chelsea?
It's an interesting change. It's definitely a shift up of style, isn't it? Which is going to be fun to watch, I guess, if you're a Chelsea fan next season, if you do indeed get Sarri. But there are a lot of problems to solve at Chelsea. Let's not forget players that aren't at the World Cup report back for training, pre-season training, next week, I believe. So there are a lot of problems to sort out at Chelsea. They've got to get Conte out the door fairly quickly if they want to get Sarri in. And at the moment, it's all up in the air, isn't it? There's no signings being made. There's no manager at the helm. You don't know how they want to line up to then fit signings into that. Apparently they've made a £35 million bid for Daniele Regani at Juventus. Who's made that decision? Is there even a director of football at Chelsea at the moment now? They lost Emenalo.
Emenalo's gone, isn't he?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
there is. So who's making the decision to put £35 million bids in for Regani? If not, if it is Sarri, then let's just get him through the door if you're a Chelsea fan. Just pay the £7 million, for goodness sake, Roman. I know you're on a money-saving exercise since you got banned from the UK, but pay the money, get him through the door, and let him start setting up for pre-season, because a lot of other teams are well organised. Liverpool have conducted their business very early. They're probably already well prepared going into the season under Jurgen Klopp. Manchester United have made 2 signings. They're going to get well prepared. Pep Guardiola has a fantastic squad. We know he's probably going to have that all in place for the pre-season start date when players report back from the World Cup. But Chelsea, no manager, no signings, no way of playing. It's a mess.
It must be something else other than the £7 million, right? Because he paid 15 way back when for the Ash Boas, and he's a businessman. In order to get things sorted, you'd imagine that is not a.
But there's been so many.
It's a
problems.
worthwhile investment.
There's been so many
that?
problems, not just on terms of football. Abramovich has lost his UK visa, he's not been allowed back into the country. I think he's taken an Israeli passport to try and circumvent that. He's cancelled the build on the stadium because he doesn't want to put money into the British economy when he can't get a passport into the country. There's so many problems happening behind the scenes. It's not surprised me that this has dragged on. And Maurizio Sarri is a notoriously difficult character to deal with as well, and I bet he's not easy in negotiations, put it that way, especially when he knows he holds all the power over Abramovich if Abramovich wants it.
And with Emenalo gone, it's probably variable how much transfer power he could get. So it always seems these days that when a manager is being signed, we hear about 2 things. One is their release clause from their current contract, and 2 is how much power they get when it comes to transfers. With Emenalo gone, possibly Sarri wants full control. And given the state of the midfield, I wouldn't be surprised about that. You know, I look at Chelsea's midfield, and that to me is the area where I think they are clearly weaker than Napoli were. Everywhere else, I think they're kind of comparable. I think they've got good defenders. They've definitely got great forwards. But that midfield area, I think, I can't except for Kante, I can't really see Sarri looking at that and feeling a great deal of
Do you
excitement.
not think he'll use Bakayoko?
I think he'll use Bakayoko, but he might use Bakayoko like Alan, right? Like, if you look at Alan's stats, like a lot of defensive actions and a lot of dribbles, he's a kind of zone mover and he recycles possession really well. So Bakayoko can do that. Kante can do a bit of everything. You know, he's just an incredible all-round presence in midfield. Fabregas, I don't think that Sarri is particularly going to like him. What they don't have is that game controller in the mode of Jorginho.
I think Sarri will enjoy Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I think he'll bring Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I would love to see Loftus-Cheek develop under Max.
Well, he actually profiles. If you look at his stats, he doesn't profile dissimilarly to, say, Rogue or Zielinski, right?
Yeah.
Lots of dribbles, good creative numbers, not a huge amount of defensive work. But yeah, I think he will want to bring in a game-controlling central midfielder. Possibly Chelsea can try and do a little bit of clever business here. They want to offload David Luiz. We've known that for the best part of a year, really. And there are rumours that Napoli want David Luiz. So that might be a good way to kind of kill two birds with one stone. You get a guy out the door who you don't want, and maybe in return they waive Sarri's release.
Jorginho is still not signed for City. There's clearly hold-ups in those negotiations. So I wonder whether Sarri is thinking about players that he can take, and Jorginho is on the radar.
Well, I think there are rumours about Weigl as well, and Weigl would make a lot of sense to me. Like, he's not dissimilar to Jorginho, I think.
Year.
Yeah, but that might mean that his price is a little bit lower. He'll have a full pre-season as well because he didn't go to the World Cup. Yeah, I think that's kind of the next question, isn't it? If Sarri comes in, what's it going to take for him to get this team up to speed?
I'm not the biggest fan of Victor Moses at right back either. I know he had that one standout season, obviously, when he was playing as a wing back. It was under Conte's first season, I think, when he was incredible. But I really think he got exposed at times last season. I think a lot of teams worked him out.
Lewandowski doesn't really feel like a Sarri signing, does it? It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Not when you look at the way, say, he's used Mertens. I think Morata's a better all-round striker. If he wants a pure poacher, he's got Batshuayi. In fact, I could almost see a more likely move being trying to play Hazard as a straight-up forward and bringing Willian back in to play the Kai Hong role or something.
I think he's going to look to sign some wide talent. I actually think Chelsea maybe lack a little bit of potentially what Man United have in too much quantity, like players that play wide and drift centrally. I think that Eden Hazard, if, like you say, gets played as a 9 under Sarri, I don't see who plays on that left for Chelsea with the ability to drift in. I don't.
Yeah, they definitely
need to. They have anyone there, do they?
They'd be well served to get somebody like a Martial. You know, there was a rumour that Martial Willian could be something that was explored. You know, Mourinho wanting Willian, basically everybody wanting Martial. That would make sense to me because then you can play him as the 9.
Yeah.
And he can interchange with those talented attackers because they've got loads of talent. It's just how it's going to fit into a Sarri formation. I can't quite work out.
Same.
Interesting. Yeah. I was just enjoying listening to you boys speak then. Well done. Let's move on to the next question. What an answer from you boys there. what knowledge. What enthusiasm. Wow. What verve. Verve?
Verve.
That's verve and fervour.
Vuvuzela.
Let's move on to quickfire questions because, you know, otherwise the edit's going to be very long. First one from Low E Official. Are the Argentina players justified in undermining Sampaoli's authority? Obviously, everyone's seen the tweets circulate about him asking whether Messi, by him, you know, him with capital H, whether to bring Aguero on or not. And everyone was privy to the scenes in the tunnel where Messi kind of took a team talk after the team talk. So I guess that's where this has come from. What do you boys think about the undermining?
Yes, 100%. Right to undermine him. I think he's been woeful. I think his team selection's been awful. I think his squad selection in the first place was crap. I think how he's laid the team out has been mediocre. I think some of his choices of where he's playing players have been close to shambolic. He's been a disgrace, and I think Argentina fully right to take the team into their own hands and do it themselves.
A disgrace. So strong.
As opposed to just like doing a bad job.
Yeah,
like, it's a disgrace.
There's doing a bad job, then there's playing Meza, left wing. But
if you attribute the substitutions to Messi as well, then surely Messi's responsible for bringing Meza on in the game the other day that they were trying to win.
I'm talking about when he started Meza first game.
I just think, I don't know, at least he was trying to do something. It's difficult because if his plan isn't working, his tactical plan isn't working, then they're kind of justified in doing whatever they can to try and win the game. But I think that they were really bad in that last game against Nigeria. I don't think they were good at all. They had 8 total shots in the game. It was not a dominant performance.
Yeah.
And
If it wasn't for a Marcos Rojo welding,
and also, it doesn't solve the fundamental problem. One of the fundamental problems is they're still playing Mascherano in midfield and Enzo Perez in midfield. And whether they're picking the team themselves or letting Sampaoli do it, whatever happens, it seems those 2 people are going to be playing in midfield.
Well,
and neither one of them is good anymore. It's ridiculous.
How then? Yeah, I just can't.
How's Lo Celso not playing? Lo Celso got serious minutes this season on PSG. We talked about him a bunch of times because he's a ball recovery machine, loads of tackles and interceptions, really good game controlling central midfielder. Wouldn't it be good if they had one of those?
I'll tell you what, it would also be good.
Ridiculous.
Get Aguero on the pitch when you need a goal against Nigeria.
Get Dybala on the pitch as well. Like if they'd gone into this World Cup and they'd taken Paredes and they played a Paredes, Lo Celso, Banega midfield, and then they play Messi and Dybala behind Aguero, I find it really hard to see how that team doesn't get you through the group stages pretty comfortably. It's ridiculous.
Next question then from Tryan_BC7. Who would be your first signing if you were Julian Lopetegui? Or Lopetegui as Joe refers to him, which is closer to a yogurt, which is mental. Go on then, you might as well kick us off, Tomlinson.
Look, I think they need a forward, but I'm going to go for, while he's available in a short period of time, Paul Pogba.
Okay.
I think if ever you're going to get him at Man United, it's this summer. So go in there, dip your hands, pay the 100 million.
You look at Real Madrid and you think the place they need reinforcements is midfield.
No, I don't. I don't think they need replacements in midfield, but I think you're never going to get another chance to get Pogba at United.
I guess I see your point in the sense of like, if you've got an opportunity to get Pogba, you get Pogba. Like I do see where you're coming from.
But they need a forward. So you say a forward.
Yeah, I mean, again, like if I can get Eden Hazard, I get Eden Hazard. Or if I can get Dybala, I get him. Like those are the guys I go for if I'm Real Madrid. Like they're the guys who are going to be able to play that wide role, score goals, allow Ronaldo to save himself for the big games or play as a centre forward, which means that you can kind of move Benzema on. You can pay for it by selling Bale. I think it's just like a sensible choice, and they don't have a lot of wide talent.
Go on, then you say a defender.
I would go for Mo Salah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'm not going to say a defender because I was thinking of Mo Salah.
Yeah,
they need wide talent, don't they? I think if they're going to stick with that.
Asensio, I decided Ronaldo.
Yeah, Asensio.
Stinky.
Woof.
I think it's difficult to gauge whether Gareth Bale will get more minutes and thus we guarantee more minutes and thus be satisfied and stay at the club. Although I don't envisage many clubs coming in for him with his outrageous wages. Yeah. Karim Benzema, if he sticks around, if he's going to get game time, it's going to be in a 2, isn't it, with Ronaldo still. But yeah, I think they'd benefit from having some more wide talent. From Capslow something, would Felipe Anderson be successful in the Premier League?
I mean, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be. Like, if he's used properly, and I think Pellegrini's a good manager, I think we can all agree on that. Like, if he stays fit, he's a fantastic player. And it's not like players have had a difficult time actually transferring from Serie A to the Premier League. I think there's generally been the idea of the days where people would say, oh, he was great in this league, but he's terrible in this league. Those are kind of going away because now clubs can drill into their stats and have a bit of a better understanding of whether a player's having a one-off great season or is genuinely really good. So he's been really good every time he's played at Lazio. I think he'd actually be really exciting.
Those knee injuries,
he could be their Mahrez.
Seen a lot of exciting attacking talent coming out of Serie A, aren't we, of late? Milinkovic-Savic, obviously, Mo Salah last season. I think because of like the change in mindset, the football's been pretty progressive over there for the last 4 or 5 seasons, hasn't it? We're seeing a lot of goals. And yeah, I really like him. He's pacey, he's direct, he's a really good dribbler. So yeah, I'd love to see him in the Premier League. And if they kind of started to line up with, kind of a triumvirate of who's the kid that got injured? Lanzini. You've got Lanzini, you've got Anderson, maybe
Chicharito.
I'm forgetting all sorts of names. Arnautovic. Who's the guy that got on loan from Inter? João Mario. And then they've got kind of a very solid front 5, front 6. So yeah, fair play.
It would be more fun though, or it would make more sense if Shaqiri went to West Ham, because Shaqiri's like the champagne Robert Snodgrass, and then Felipe Anderson went to Leicester. That actually makes a lot more sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Mahrez were to leave, I think spending that money on Felipe Anderson would not be the worst idea. And I could see Shaqiri going to West Ham and doing what happens every season, which is one guy stops him getting relegated on his own.
We've got one more question in terms of quick fire questions, and it's from We Are Venom, and he's asked, which fan base do you hate the most?
Oh wow. Barcelona.
Hot take, that is.
The Barcelona fan base.
That's difficult to argue with.
It's dreadful.
Liverpool's appalling as well.
Yeah.
They are scum. Arsenal are appalling. Barca are definitely the most spoiled though.
Tell you
Even
what,
more so
yeah,
than
Barcelona
Arsenal. They
are
are
the most
so
spoiled.
spoiled.
Fucking England fans, when things are going wrong, spoiling my viewing experience by chanting, absolute bollocks when the mood sours, such as it did yesterday when we were losing to Belgium. Fantastic when we're winning. Everyone's sprightly, celebrate in a celebratory mood. As soon as things go wrong, out comes
Booing Raheem Sterling.
out comes the
as
fucking
well.
EDL vibes.
If
And
you
that's
boo
not
Raheem
everyone,
Sterling, you're a
obviously.
piece of shit.
Let's move on to personal questions then. Right, first question is from Cal Rush, or 23. If you had a chance to get one player's shirt who has played in any of the World Cups, who would it be and why,
Paul
lads?
Scholes. Paul Scholes.
Paul Scholes.
He's played in any World Cup.
So you're doing a bit of 5 Live stuff, right? With your Bezzy Robbie Savage.
My childhood hero,
Is he been on the show yet? Or is he-
Scholes has been on the show. Yeah.
Oh, what did you say to him?
Didn't speak to him.
Oh no, devastated. How come?
Just was on after me.
Oh, you should have just
was on
fucking
a-
interjected.
Nah,
You just stuck around.
He was on a pre-recorded.
You should never meet your heroes.
right,
you should never meet your
fair.
heroes. Just get a shirt.
Alright, whose shirt would you have?
I like Zidane's. I mean, like Zidane kind of defined World Cups growing up for me. So probably Zidane or Bergkamp, Cruyff. I mean, Pele could probably sell that.
Yeah. I reckon I'd go for R9. Originaldo.
It's a good shout.
Il Fenomeno. Just revisited his career t'other night when I went down a bit of a midnight rabbit hole and I watched all 44 of his goals for Cruzeiro. So,
Nice.
yeah, it was.
How old was he then? Was he like 17,
17.
18?
Yeah.
Mm.
Frightening. He actually made that, was it the 94 squad
Yeah.
that won the World
Yeah,
Cup?
didn't play a minute.
As a 17-year-old, sort of watching his goals for Barcelona, Inter Milan obviously, but that's where he did his cruciate. And the way he reinvented himself post that injury, I think he deserves a lot of credit for. His mentality was unbelievable because that kept him out for almost 2 years, and he obviously suffered the second one pretty much straight after the first one, didn't he? And I was watching it. I actually watched a few more of his goals as well for Corinthians when he had that kind of last swan song.
Got like 16.
Did he help them win a Copa Libertadores as well?
Maybe.
I think it might have been a regional title actually. I'm not sure. But either way, I love him.
I once watched all his goals from that season at Barcelona, that one season at Barcelona, for a script and counted how many of them he went round the keeper. And 8 goals that season he went round the keeper. It was amazing.
What was it? It was like 44 goals, wasn't it, in 46 appearances
I thought it
or
was
something?
46 and 47 or something.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know,
it's-
it's mental.
in that region, but just the variety of goals that he scored, just the sheer the pace of the man, the afterburners was just unreal. He somehow maintains pace and bosses 2 defenders off the block. You have to go and check it out. I can't remember which is. Next question then from Muad322. Let's make this the last one, lads. If things would have gone differently, which one of the FD boys could have been a professional footballer?
So who's the best at football?
Sam
Obaseki, yeah.
Sam Obaseki. Sam Obaseki. I don't think you've. I don't think
Yeah, he has
they would
been in
have.
the
They
top
would have
10. He's been
seen
in
him
the
as of
FD
yet.
top
No, I
10.
think he's recorded it. Has it gone out?
Ooh,
Did
I
it go
don't know.
live? I think we just recorded it. But he was on the second live stream,
Yeah,
the second
on
football
that
social. It was in the Panama
Yeah.
pub, I want to call it maybe. I think it
bar.
was just a Riley's where there was 6 people from Panama. He's very good, very athletic. You're not bad. I mean, but I think the quality after Sam there's a big drop there as well. But that's it. That's Continental Club for this week. Well done for carrying the show, gentlemen. And is there anything else that these people should watch? I have my hands out. I need help. I want help. Just get me off this set.
No, not really.
Yeah, Stat Wars the Champions. Go over and watch that.
Solid answer.
That's a solid answer.
Cool. See you later, guys.